everyone deserves access to justice. Everyone deserves the ability to defend themselves in court and the ability to try to save their home or work out a resolution where they're not ending up homeless. And I think the Right to Counsel movement responds to that. And I think it's one of the best ways for thinking about how we prevent displacement and prevent homelessness. Hi, my name is Rasheedah Phillips. I'm the managing attorney of the housing unit at Community Legal Services. So Right to Counsel is a mechanism or a protection that allows low-income folks who are having civil legal services issues to be able to get access to a free attorney. People end up in really bad lease agreements, or the landlord is actually not fulfilling their obligations as a landlord, but then they go to court and that full story doesn't get to be told because the person without an attorney and without someone who can lay out the story in a very linear way is at a huge disadvantage to the landlord, who in 85% of the situations have someone on their behalf. 48% of the residents in the city are renters. We have been behind the curve in thinking about renters' rights and thinking about how we stabilize the renter community that is overwhelmingly low income and is being, displaced and pushed out of their communities. We are the poorest, largest city in the country, with a deep poverty rate of nearly 26% that has not moved in many years. That conversation is absolutely tied to the rights of tenants. It's a revolving sort of door where people who were not impoverished become impoverished as a result of eviction. There's all sorts of things that a attorney can go in and do when they're representing a tenant that again prevents displacement, prevents periods of homelessness, prevents periods of instability that people can't recover from. So Right to Counsel was introduced and passed in New York City about 2 years ago. It has reduced displacements. Eviction filings have gone down, and several other outcomes from just a year of having Right to Counsel there. And here in Philadelphia, we've piloted a program called the Philadelphia Eviction Prevention Project, otherwise known as PEP. And so far, what that has shown us is that overwhelmingly, where a tenant is represented by an attorney, they are able to avoid what we call disruptive displacement. And from there, there were some recommendations around expanding legal access to legal counsel, and then a bunch of other studies that recommended Right to Counsel or expanding legal counsel as a means of addressing not only the eviction crisis and the homelessness crisis, but the city's poverty crisis as well. Working with the Philadelphia Bar Association, they commissioned a study that showed that if the city were to invest $3.5 million annually into Right to Counsel, the city would save $45.2 million annually in homelessness services and all of the sorts of touch points and services that people who are being evicted have to access as a result of eviction, and so we would save money in that. And so it just made good fiscal sense, I think. All of that just was compelling, and the city decided that it made a lot of sense to introduce this legislation. We're really excited to see it and excited to see the city make this commitment and follow best practices and follow, and join the national movement that has said that providing Right to Counsel is one of the best tools for preventing displacement.